See, in Genesis, Jesus is the beginning of life. All creation is made through Jesus and by Jesus and for Jesus. God's image bearers are defaced by sin, but he is the seed of Eve who will return to crush the serpent's head and to restore the birthright of God's people through rebirth. In Exodus, Jesus is our Passover lamb whose blood is painted over the doorposts of our house. We walk in freedom and life now rather than slavery and death. He's our mediator, interceding before God that his presence might now abide with us. In Leviticus, Jesus is the sin offering whose throat is slit so we may live. He's the scapegoat cursed with our sins so they are sent out to never be heard from again. He's the fulfillment of the civil, ceremonial, and moral laws, establishing a new nation and a royal priesthood that now operates by the law of love. In Numbers, Jesus is God's steadfast love that refuses to abandon his people, though his people, all of us, have abandoned him. He's the intercessor who pleads for God's pardon, and he is God's promise kept by grace alone. In Deuteronomy, Jesus is the redeemer of ruins, the renewal of an old promise. He is the prophet greater than Moses and the mediator of a greater covenant. He welcomes us into the Holy of Holies, and he secures the promised land for us forever. Do you see him? This morning, do you see him? And do you love him? In Joshua, Jesus is the commander of the Lord's army who crushes the unassailable walls of our sin. He is born from the line of the harlot Rahab so that lowly sinners of all peoples in all places can be chosen now to enjoy the promised land with him. In Judges, God's people do what is right in their own eyes and ruin their lives. But Jesus is the intervention of God into the misery of life to save and sustain his people through the very worst of times. He is the true and greater Samson, though being the strong man, became a weak man and sacrificed himself to save his people. In Ruth, Jesus is the redeemer of a distressed bride without any prospects of hope. He is the restorer of life that resurrects the bitter person that they might now walk in joy. In 1 and 2 Samuel, Jesus is the humble warrior who strikes down the great giant that threatened his children so that they walk in victory rather than trembling in defeat. He is the son of David who will remain on his throne forever and will see that the house of God is built out of living stones like us. In 1 and 2 Kings, Jesus is the sacrifice who is consumed by the fire of heaven so that God's judgment passes over his unfaithful people. He is the young boy king